Hey guys, this is DJ Dugan, marketing guy here at Smith Music. Earlier this year, I was lucky enough to go on the Ignite Your Brand podcast from the Fuel and Spark guys here in Fort Worth, Texas. I've included a link to their website in the description of this podcast. If you are an artist looking for advertising and marketing help, please reach out to my buddy Chris over at Fuel and Spark. He'll get you fixed up. And now, my interview on the Ignite Your Brand podcast. Enjoy.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Ignite Your Brand podcast, where we're bringing marketers, agency executives, entrepreneurs to the table to talk about trends, what's working, and what's getting us fired up. I'm Chris Botvidson with Fuel and Spark Media, and we are coming at you live from Grandma's Bar here in the historic Southside District of Fort Worth, Texas. I am here with DJ Dugan.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for being here.
I am so glad to be here.
Cool, man.
Got to be here. I'm happy.
Yeah, so DJ handles marketing and digital distribution for Smith Music. Mm-hmm. He has extensive experience in advertising. He's run a magazine publication. Mm-hmm. And so what he does is he works with artists to build their brand, develop marketing strategies, and distribute their music on all kinds of various different channels, and different platforms. So thanks so much for being here, man.
Well, thank you. I'm so glad that I got to give a shout out to Sean Russell from the Cutthroat Finches for hooking us up and suggesting I come on this podcast.
Yeah.
You're doing something with them, ain't you?
Yeah, we actually we're cutting together some video content for them right now. So, well, cheers.
Awesome. Oh yes, cheers.
And you're having, what are you having?
I am having a Martin House Salty Lady, so looking forward to that brand sponsorship coming
and
through. Maybe.
I'm having a good old fashioned.
A good old fashioned.
All right.
Excellent.
Well, Grandma's Bar does a really great job of mixing cocktails and having a great beer selection, so we appreciate them for having us here. So just before we get started, a little icebreaker. I'm going to kind of give you either or.
Okay.
Quick fire.
Okay.
Just come up with the answer that hits you. All right. So Spotify, iTunes.
Oh man, Apple Music. I got to make a distinction because iTunes is the digital downloads, and now it's all moved to Apple Music for streaming.
Okay.
I love paying for my Apple Music every month because there's a lot of content out in the world that does not exist anymore unless you have the CD, and I can upload that CD, put it into my Apple Music account, and I can get access to it from anywhere. So there's a lot of great content of artists who they didn't want it out anymore, but I love it. I just love it, and I have to have it, and I like rubbing it in their face that I still have it sometimes because they're still some of my clients.
Cool. All right, Facebook or YouTube?
Oh man, neither really anymore. You know, I like YouTube more than Facebook, especially if we're talking video.
Okay.
But as a platform, I don't know.
Okay, well, how about this? Instagram or TikTok?
Instagram. I am definitely an Instagram. I'm an old guy. I feel like I'm an old guy just because TikTok is overrun with young people.
Yeah,
but
I know.
TikTok is becoming a very powerful tool for music marketing. Even if you're not making a lot of money on it, people are being discovered there, and some of their you get the right trend going, you end up getting on the radar of major labels. It's amazing.
Cool. Texas or Nashville?
Oh, not Tennessee. Texas for sure.
All right.
Now, if we were talking about cities in Tennessee, Memphis.
Right.
I like Memphis more than Nashville. So.
All right. I should have said Fort Worth or Nashville, maybe.
Yeah, definitely.
All right.
I always say that Fort Worth is to Nashville, that Austin is to LA.
Okay.
So we've got where a lot of the songwriters are, and some of the established.
A lot of people go back and forth.
For sure, they do, and it's becoming more affordable to live here. So if you want a base of operations that you can get to just about anywhere, if you're a musician, come to Fort Worth because it's one of the best places. And also the city is a powerful entity that is definitely promoting the content, promoting the artists, promoting the industry as a whole. I'm on the board here Fort Worth with Tom Martins and
so
sorry if I'm jumping ahead.
No, that leads right into what I was going to ask you about next. So you're on the board of Here Fort Worth. Here Fort Worth is an initiative created by the Convention and Visitors Bureau to help promote music.
Visit Fort Worth now.
Yeah, Visit Fort Worth. But they're here to promote local artists and help get the word out around.
Oh, yeah.
And so we just had a recent activation at South by Southwest. So talk to us about how that went.
Oh, it went fantastic. TX was one of the sponsors. They went through enough whiskey for 3 days in one day. We had quite a bit. I think the Film Fort Worth also being a part of it. That's the sister to the music side. They had some activations. They came out with the 1883 and the movies that have been filmed here. But oh Lord, having our artists go out there and just be in front of huge crowds. They said 5,000 people on the Saturday.
Yeah, that's impressive. Yeah. I mean, 5,000 people coming through, getting access to see local Fort Worth music, and there were people there from all over the world.
All over the world.
Yeah, and so I went on Sunday, and it was a really, really cool experience. So kudos to Visit Fort Worth and you guys at Here Fort Worth.
And Mitch and all those guys.
Yeah, I know Tom was running his butt off whenever we were there. So.
Always.
Yeah. All right, cool. So I want to talk to you a little bit about, the music industry, what's kind of working, not working, as far as, marketing and promoting artists go. But one of the questions I have is coming out of the pandemic where artists couldn't perform at all. I'm guessing a lot of artists were recording and doing things, but also the way the way they had to get their music out to people shifted tremendously, right? And so can you talk to me about how some of your strategies have shifted coming out of the pandemic?
We didn't shift as much as try to keep up. Everybody came off the road, they couldn't play anymore, so they had to fill that time, and a lot of them already were in the process of recording. They had albums that they were working on, so they just came in and finished them up, and then it was one right after the other, and we have not stopped since in the last 2 years, almost 3 years. What I love is more focus on the ability to make money on that side. People have always kind of written it off, but there is money out there on the streaming side because every 300 spins on Spotify is $1. Every 100 spins on Apple and Amazon, it's about $1 average. And if you're focusing on it and growing that business side, getting people to listen, human beings, not just focusing on whether or not in a playlist, but actual human beings, man, you'll start making money. That's the goal.
I have noticed in the last few years that with Spotify, it's kind of brought back the single, right? A little bit,
yeah.
So people aren't they're really trickling out a few singles before they release a whole album, it seems.
That's strategic.
Okay.
If you're in the development stage, an album is not going to do you any good because of the way that Spotify has set up their pitching setup. So I know we're getting an inside ball, but there's a artist for Spotify is the program. When you've delivered a piece of content, you go in and you're able to pitch that content to the editorial staff. And once a piece of content's out, it's no longer available to you for pitching through that portal. So people have now focused in on singles to help grow their numbers. Yeah, and when you do that, when you get in that release radar on Friday and new music playlists that are inherently built into the algorithm on those streaming platforms. Because we've moved Friday to the release day, and then between Friday and Thursday is the release week. Back in the day when we were doing physical, and you're probably old enough to remember, we got albums on Tuesday. Yeah, well, and everything kind of moved to the digital on the streaming, and they pushed it to Friday. And of course that's upset some of the record stores, but it's really helped out in kind of consolidating what people's habits, because Friday through the next week. I mean, Friday and Saturday is when you're having
That's when
fun.
people are going to the record stores anyway, right? So.
That's and we've seen that with Record Store Day. That's Saturday. Come in and you have time off, like most of us don't have. That Saturday is a sacred day that we can actually go do that kind of fun stuff. And if you're not going to your local record store, please do, because there's so much wealth of knowledge there.
Right, and so with that, the digital streaming platforms are a huge component of marketing a new artist or an existing artist.
Yep.
But it sounds like vinyl records, CDs even.
CDs are definitely, depending on the artist. I go artist by artist.
Okay.
If you are a older guy or older gal that does Western swing and you're selling CDs to older crowd, yeah, you'll probably do pretty good. But if you're a young guy or a young gal that's playing pop music, you're not going to be selling CDs.
Does anybody out there still listen to CDs?
I don't.
I don't either.
I don't know. The last CD I bought was in like 2009.
I don't even remember the last CD
everything
I
else
bought.
has been free.
Yeah.
I've been buying a lot more vinyl. Though.
Yeah, me too. I love vinyl, and it's a great medium to listen to the music.
Right. Yeah.
So as you're talking about strategies and how you're releasing and kind of getting the tempo or the rhythm or the cadence to releasing a new album, what is the biggest mistake that artists make when they have a song or an album that they're just itching and raring to go to release?
The biggest mistake is spending tens of thousands of dollars and then dropping that thing out of the blue and not letting anybody know it's coming. Because if nobody knows it exists, then nobody's listening to it, and that means you're not making any money. And the only way you can let people know it exists is by building the buzz and building the awareness of that. And that's why we do a few singles before the album drops, and that's why we send out the album to the radio stations, and we send it to go hang out with the record store and maybe do an in-store and listen to the test pressing a few times with your fan base. We did that with the Toadies when we did the Live at Billy Bob's. We took the test pressing, and in the 4 weeks before the release date, we set every record store in Fort Worth. We did a in-store, listened to the thing back and front, and Martin House donated a bunch of beer for it, which was fun. And then we did pre-orders where if you pre-ordered the album, you get into a raffle for a guitar signed by the band.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's how we marketed that in the local scene. In the larger, we did something different. But Toadies is a hardcore Fort Worth band. They sold out that place, 6,500 people, and so you know where your fan base is. You need to go where your fan base is. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. If they're already there, just keep feeding them.
So start getting that buzz going.
Oh,
so
yeah.
there's social media components, there's in-store components, there's press and PR, and so it all kind of works together to build up to dropping a single or dropping an album.
Yeah.
And so
they should be doing stuff like this, the podcasts and interviews and all the way up to it.
Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Fallon.
That'd be nice. I mean, you got to work up there. I always say if you're on a major label, that's what the first thing they're going to do is they're going to put you on that, and they're going to put you on Good Morning America. But you need to translate that to your size at the moment. What is Jimmy Kimmel or Good Morning America? Well, that's maybe Good Morning Texas in Dallas and go on the morning news. Do the local session with the guys like y'all and go in the studio and do the live session and get that up on our YouTube channel. Right?
Yeah.
And you just got to translate it to where you're at right now and grow.
Well, it sounds a lot like you're marketing a small business when you're marketing a brand or a band.
That is exactly what it is. It's a small business. And I treat every artist that comes on as their own label. That label is a small business, and we have to grow that brand and the awareness of that business.
Yeah, well, it very much is like a small business. I mean, you got 4 or 5 members of a band. They all have different families, different schedules. You got tour managers and bus drivers and all of the...
And managers, regular managers.
Yeah, managers and everything. So you're really talking about a 5 to 10 employee small business just for a band.
It can, yeah. Yeah, some guys are a little bit more nimble. One guy solo acts, but when I'm dealing with a band, it's a full-on operation and a lot of irons in the fire.
Well, talk to us a little bit about Smith Music and how you guys help artists get to where they want to go.
Smith Music Group was created in 1998, and it was the label for the Live at Billy Bob series. We own and record that, film it, put that up on iTunes Movies. But once the digital side started changing, there was an opportunity to start helping out these local guys, and so we started signing those up and helping their labels out, and getting that content up on Spotify and Apple, and our main toolbox is the distribution side. We are direct, so you're not going through somebody else. Like if you went through a label in Nashville, you might actually be being distributed by Sony, a major label, and you're being tiered. You know, there's a middleman between us. We are direct with Spotify. We have a direct agreement with them, and that's where we also beat out some of the .com distribution companies, because they may have direct deals, but we have a better agreement because we're set up as a label.
So the artists get to keep a little bit more of the money?
They get more money through us, even though there's no upfront cost. It's 10% on the back end, but we have label pricing. So like you're instead of having 99-cent your single, it's $1.29, and then we get better deals on YouTube. I know we're sorry. If y'all want to know, just call me.
Well, if you're, I mean, do you work with artists, Fort Worth, Texas, beyond?
Oh yeah. So our main bread and butter is the Live at Billy Bob series. So that has given us a lot of clout within the country scene, the Americana scene, roots rock, southern rock, and blues. But we've ventured out into labels that are pop and hip hop. We want to be, though, local minded. That's more. It doesn't matter what genre, as long as you're local and I can talk to you like we're talking right now. That's what we're trying to build, and we have label reps in different cities that we're growing.
Well, if you're an artist in Texas, or artist or a label representing artists in Texas, or I'm sure the surrounding areas, Louisiana, Arkansas, Oklahoma, like all this general vicinity region. If you are looking for someone who can help you distribute the music, not only that, but it sounds like you come up with strategies and marketing plans and everything like that. Well, DJ, thank you so much for being here, dropping some knowledge. It's been interesting for me to hear about how this music industry works a little bit more. So thank you for sharing your thoughts and your expertise with us and the crowd. I'm sure appreciates it. And again, big shout out to Here Fort Worth, Film Fort Worth, visit Fort Worth as a whole. Love what you guys are doing for the city. It's amazing. And thank you for volunteering and being on the board. And also just so people know, like, how can people find you guys? Here Fort Worth, at Here Fort Worth on pretty much everything. We are having a mixer next Tuesday, April 5th at Printed Threads. So if you're around the area, 6 to 8, please come out. That's the best place to get a gig if you're a musician, because there's talent buyers and people looking for acts. And for Smith Music, smithmusic.com, that's the best place to get a hold of me. Okay, well, you'll go to smithmusic.com, reach out, even pick up a phone, call them, ask for DJ. They'll take care of you. I'm in that tree. You just like whatever extension is. Yeah, if you're if you like old school, actually talking to human beings, give DJ a call. So I'm Chris Botvidson with Fuel and Spark Media. This is the Ignite Your Brand podcast. Fuel and Spark Media, we are a video production agency. We also help people publish content on all their social channels. We also help run and manage paid social campaigns. Check us out, fuelandspark.com. You can check us out on all our social media channels at Fuel and Spark. And on YouTube, just search for Fuel and Spark Media. You'll see some of these different podcasts and everything like that. So that said, DJ, thank you so much, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, let's go have some more beer.
I'm down. Let's do it. Cheers.
All right.